I used to wear my hair like this about 25 years ago. Had more colour in it then, it was purple. I used to be called Inspector Funk, or I don't know whether I named myself that or whether someone else named me that. Let me tell you a little story. I tried to put a band together with my mates and my brother. The band got really good, and eventually it was kind of decided by the group that we should really find a singer. Up until that point I'd been the singer, so I had to replace myself. The band went on to become quite a hit in the town we were living in. It was around the sort of dance music era, you know, free parties and raves and stuff, or that had kind of peaked, but it left people, well, I say peaked, it was massive around the UK in that period still, and live bands kind of had to compete with that, really. And so the band that I was with, who went on to be called Hanover Street, sort of got involved, and the music they chose was funk, so it was kind of up-tempo dance funk music. Not the traditional James Brown style funk, even though that was an influence, but it was groove-based, breakbeat style music with a bit of a breakdown reggae lilt, thanks to the new singer. Anyway, I found myself redundant, and I obviously still wanted in on the action. I pretended I was cool with it, but secretly I did. And I remember at that time as well, people were dressing, especially where I was kind of hanging out, in pretty regular clothes, loose fitting but comfortable clothes and footwear. Dancing was big, you know, parties were big, and so people weren't really getting dressed up like they had for, let's say, the mods and the rockers scene, the Teddy Boys, and it wasn't like that. The rave scene was a great leveller of people, and even though saying that, the travellers, because you had your ravers and your travellers, your new age travellers, they had a certain look. They liked to go for the kind of, I know, the tall open boot affair. I would say it was a traditional look. More of an unkempt look, like we don't really care what we look like. And ravers were more clean, for want of a better expression. They were cleaner. And anyway, so you got these two parties, none of them really dressing up, but there was a particular look to the New Age Travellers, and I guess there was a particular look to the ravers. It was kind of baggy jeans, comfortable trainers, hoodies, yeah. Anyway, saying this, it was the 90s, and a few people started to come into the pub, and you could see that they were being drawn towards the hippie thing. You know, the odd sort of sheepskin jacket was creeping in, and the odd set of flares. And I could see this sort of group forming, where they were getting a little bit more daring with their clothes and their shirts. And I thought, oh, you know, you want hippie, you want far out, I'll give you far out. Because there was a second-hand shop, like a thrift shop, next to the pub that we hung out in, and they had all kinds of stuff in there. And I told her what I was going to do, the woman who owned it, and so she pretty much gave me the stuff next to nothing. She thought it would be quite funny as well. So I basically left that shop with a pair of these jockey boots, so these boots, a pair of blue corduroy flares, quite nice flares, a purple silk shirt with a condor on the back, and a blue suede tasselled jacket, and a purple wig. and I had some blue mirrored or purple mirrored sunglasses anyway. Anyway, I went to a friend's house and got changed and put the outfit on and went down the pub, and everyone was like, what are you doing? And I just sort of shrugged it off, and it was just like, what are you talking about? Kind of in character. And they were like, alright, well, how long he keeps this up, kind of thing. Anyway, I decided that, you know, the only way to play this was all deadpan, never give anything away, always just talk and sort of deny that you don't know what pretend you don't know what people are on about when they say, what are you dressed like that for, and all of that. And so anyway, I kept this up for about a week or two. Even got on stage with the band and did a sort of show, and it was really funny. Now, as I'm telling this story, it doesn't actually sound funny at all. It sounds just bizarre, like a bizarre thing to do. I guess it was, but I enjoyed the attention, and so secretly got into it and started to develop a sort of banter and a spiel that went with it. But I remember it kind of went wrong. The day I realised, this has got to end, I think I'd gone to a club, full of it, and real playing this part and loving it, and someone had tried to pull the wig off, and I got really serious with them, and then I realised this has gone too far. I'm believing this, so I kind of left the club immediately and went home, took the outfit off, and never wore it again. And that was it. And I'd go, it was Inspector Funk. I think during that period a few things happened as well. It was only about a 3-week stint, but during that 3 week, if I'd stay at a friend's house on a sofa, which I was doing quite a lot because I didn't have anywhere to live, I would wake up before, or I'd keep it on and go to sleep, and then if I heard someone coming down, I would, I'd take it off to go to sleep when everyone's gone to sleep, and then I'd put it back on, and just be morning, noon and night in character like this. I went to see Maceo Parker over in Bristol. I think I was in the front seat, and the drummer of the band was just like, I'll take that fucking wig off with you, this is ridiculous, because compared to Bath, Bristol was a kind of serious town. And but anyway, we pulled up to this gig, and there was a closed gate affair, and they took one look at me front with this wig, opened the door wide, and was just like, come in, rude boy. It was funny as you like. And also my dad came to visit Bath as well, and I couldn't sort of take it off just for that, so I sort of was going busking anyway, and I was walking around with this silver cut-off bass I had and this little busking amp, and we had to meet in a cafe. So I remember wandering down from the top of town in Bath. We were going to meet sort of on the street, and I was walking, and I could see him. There's him and his wife, sort of thing, walking up, and I could see him looking around, looking for me. And then he clocked this person with purple hair and gave a laugh, and then a look of horror came over his face when he realised, no, it can't be, that's him, sort of thing. And it was awful really. I tried to sort of explain what I was doing, but it didn't really wash, and he just felt incredibly embarrassed sat in his tea room in Bath with his wife Shirley, and I don't blame him. That's so difficult. I had so much promise in his eyes, and I was reduced like mid-20s, skin, nowhere to live, hanging around with a purple wig on. As far as he's concerned, his son had gone absolutely mad. We laugh about it now, and I sort of explained what I was doing. I also tried one thing. Now I'm going to have to be quick here because I realise I just ramble on. But just before I sort of killed the character, so to speak, I tried something with him, and it was the first time when it really did. I failed at busking. Basically, I was playing, and this guy showed up in town a month or so before, 2 months before or something, and he had one of those latex all over face mask things on, of an old man, and he basically stood there with a sign in front of him saying "Old man backflips on donation," and it looked like an old man stood there in his black sort of kung fu suit, and you'd put a quid in or something like that, and he would do a backflip, and he would be non-stop. He'd at least get 100 quid before he'd sort of get tired and go home. Anyway, I ended up inviting him back to the place I was staying, or the flat I was living in, and we had a chat and all that, and he went on his way, and you know, good bloke. But it made me think, I could do that, because I could still backflip, because I used to be a gymnast, and I thought, oh, and so I made myself a little sign and took a mat, and it was just like Inspector Funk backflips on donation, and no one put anything in. I just ended up standing there for about half an hour. My friend Corin came down and they witnessed it, and then he witnessed me having to, I think I even tried one, but I did one backflip to get the ball rolling, but nothing. And then I had to kind of pack up and give up, and that made my friend Corin laugh, and it did make me laugh at myself as well. Yeah, I humiliated. I just backed up. Anyway, yeah, that was ridiculous. So I bought this wig online, and it's grey, and I was going to pretend that I'm, you know, Inspector Fun years on, but it wasn't that good, so I didn't bother until tonight. And I was thinking, what could I do? And I thought, well, let's try and tell that story. And so I have. It's not my best story, to be honest. If you liked it, which I don't know, I'm in doubt whether you will have. But if you did, then please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Especially if you're watching this and you remember. That'd be interesting. I know there's some footage out there at some point. In fact, it would be good to get hold of the footage and then, I've ruined it now, but play the footage and talk about it at the same time. I might try and track that down. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. The content is a little bit better than this. Please flick through the clips I've already uploaded and decide for yourself. Not quite sure of the direction of the channel yet. Still finding my feet, but enjoy making these clips, and I hope you enjoy watching them. And I think that's it. Oh, if you do subscribe, then turn on the notification bell. So that's all, folks. See you next time. I think I'll play some music now. A 1, 2, 3, 4.